Hey Scrappy Peeps, Susanna here today for Speak Mom Scraps to share with you this layout that I made using some digital cut files, some stamps, and some sequins. So what you see on the right hand side there is a layout gone wrong. I knew I wanted to use this digital cut file. I had actually cut it out for another layout, and I couldn't make it work on that particular layout, so I thought, well, I'm going to make it the center theme and inspiration for this particular layout. And I thought it would be really cool to put some mixed media behind the words in order to add some more color to the layout. The problem is that by using pink mixed media and having the letters be sort of pink and red, you couldn't read the letters. So then I thought I'd fix it by making a black shadow outline for the letters, but that didn't look any better. So I decided I still want to use this piece of paper with the gray background, the gray frame that you see there. And so in order to fix things, I just cut out a cream piece of cardstock, rounded the corners, and voila! I had a new background to work on. Now, this background didn't have the subtle gray sort of splashes behind it, and I could have put them in with some shimmers from Spiegel Mom Scraps. However, I got a little gun shy because I had already made a mess with mixed media and decided that it wasn't going to go there. So I have the words. They are a digital cut file from Carrie Bradford, and I have the hearts, which I just fussy cut out of pattern paper, and then I have these 4 pictures of my cat, Belle. I have been scrapping a lot of her lately because she's been awful cute lately, and I have a camera that makes it so easy to take great pictures of her. And I decided I wanted to put a little bit more black, and I wanted a little bit more embellishment on the layout. So I was just going to use these stamps from Heidi Swapp, and I wanted them to peek out from the sides of the photos. I've been trying very hard lately to tell more stories in my photos and therefore include more photos. And so I have printed 4, as you can see there. I think these are 2 by 2.5, 2 by 2 1/4, or 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 pictures. And so I just chose 3 spots to make these flowers peek out from behind the photos, just for a little bit more visual interest. And what I do off camera, I do a lot of things off camera, and I don't do it intentionally. I'm not trying to hide any of my process from you, but I always get a different perspective of my layouts when I'm photographing them, and it's actually when I'm photographing them that I decide that I want to add a little something here or a little something there. And so what I did off camera for this particular layout is I took one of my Jane Davenport mermaid markers, and I just added a splash more color into those flowers that you can see there, and put just a hint more pink. Not all of the flower is colored in, just bits and pieces of it, and you'll see that better in the close-ups. So I was able to resurrect this layout rather nicely. There is still a little bit of warp in the page from the mixed media, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me, and once you have it behind the page protector, it sort of flattens it out anyway. And I did go through my scraps, the selvages of pattern papers. I save all of those, and I found something with a little bit more red, and it was floral, which tied the floral of the stamps into the floral of that red strip up there to just kind of guide your eye from the top of the page down. Sorry about that. I just silenced that phone. Sorry. And so now I have committed to everything. Really, this is the bulk of the layout. I just wanted to add a little bit of sequence to it. And so I am going to, after I glue everything down, then add the sequence. This is a love layout, but it is not about Valentine's Day, but I did use some of these love collections from American Crafts, and then that main pattern paper there is from that new Pink Paisley collection, and I was able to then find, funnily enough, a Christmas collection is what I'm going to use. It's called the Oh What Fun collection because it has the red that's in the couch and the cushion that the cat is on, as well as the red that's in the pattern paper from You Make My Heart, or You Make My blank sing, and it had the gold, which is similar to the color on the floor, and then it had the white, which is just a little bit of a neutral color for a little bit of added sparkle to the page. And I am just going to do what I've been doing a lot of lately, and I'm just going to put dots of liquid Scotch adhesive on the page, and then just pick up the sequence with the pad of my finger and then just stick the glue into that. I did have these iris cases, which is what I store embellishments in, and each different collection has a different iris case, and my intent had been to actually try and put a little bit more embellishment on, but I didn't need any more hearts. I determined after sticking a few of them on, it became too busy because I have so many pictures on the page, as small as they are. It didn't need any more embellishments. So I am going to find a it looks like a stamp, I think it's got a stamped border, and I'm going to cut that in half so that it looks like photo corners that will go behind two of the pictures. And then I do find a few little bits and pieces that I will also use on the page. So this month's theme, which we are wrapping up as it's nearing the end of January over here on Spiegel Mom Scraps, is stamping and sequins. And so you can see I've stamped those flowers there, and then I am going to go in with 2 more stamps from Cocoa Daisy, one of which is a heart, and put in some very subtle hearts in pink, and then there's one that says love, and I'm going to put that in as well. So these are the it's got the stamp border that I'm going to use kind of like a photo corner, again just for a splash of color to tie that all together. And I'm going to now put the Oh What Fun Christmas sequence on my love layout. There's really no rhyme or reason to how I do this. I just like to choose usually a trio for me, and I will do a trio of trios and try and use them as sparkle to draw your eye through the pictures, through the journaling, and through the title. And typically that will be a visual triangle for me. This particular layout is not a visual triangle because you can see that there are actually 4 clusters of sequins, but that's okay. So you can see I put the dots of Scotch glue, and then I usually use either the pad of my finger and or the tweezers. I stick the tweezer in the hole of the sequence and pull it open, which allows me to lift the sequence and then put it down onto the glue there. And that's me using the pad of my finger to do the same thing. I know some of the gals use glue dots. I find that with the glue dots, they are raised typically, and I don't like that dimension. I don't like the way that it raises the glue dot, that it raises the sequence up off the paper, and so I find that the liquid adhesive works perfectly for me and isn't too messy. It's just a matter of preference, I think, how you put your sequence down. I also find that glue dots can get very expensive for the amount of sequence that I put on some of my layouts. So just adding a little bit more embellishment to this layout, various other things. The page would have been fine without these other things. I just think when it's subtle, like these little things that I've got, they complement the sequence, and I try and find things that help tell more of the story. So these are the stamps that I've got from Cocoa Daisy from my current kit. That one says love, that's in red, which is perfect. And then I have I'm going to clean off my stamp first, and I'm going to use a couple of pink hearts. So that is my stamp and sequence layout to wrap up the months of January for me for Spiegel Mom Scraps. Be sure to check back in with us in February when we will have a brand new topic full of sequence loaded layouts for you. Thanks for stopping in today. There are going to be a couple of close-ups that follow, so enjoy those, and I look forward to seeing you in the month of February. Take care, and if you don't already subscribe to the channel, we'd love to see you subscribe, and you can join my channel too. Thanks for stopping in. Take care.